Hello everyone, my name is Tom and you're watching Let's Talk with Tom with me, your host, Tom, and we're talking about stuff. Nailed it. Star vs. the Forces of Evil, right now, is a top tier cartoon. It's a show about an interdimensional princess named Star Butterfly, and she shoots puppies and rainbows out of her wand, and it's manly as fuck. Yeah, I know. It's got a lot of qualities that a few years ago would qualify it as a girl show. But this is 2017, baby. We are progressing as a society. Fuck a gender role. Let's be real. If you think that this show is only catering to a female audience, either you are very wrong or I have no idea what I'm talking about, which is very possible. I gotta talk about things regardless of whether or not I might be wrong. That's part of putting yourself out there on the internet, you know, follow your dreams. So in Star vs. the Forces of Evil, your main character is Star Butterfly, obviously. She's easy to identify as like a pretty feminine character. And thankfully, the showrunners didn't just give up once they figured that out. Like, they actually developed her character beyond that, because sometimes that happens. Alright, so for the main character, her name is Star Butterfly. She looks like this, and she's a girl. What are some traits she should have? I don't know. Girly ones? You're right. So for Marco, I was thinking. Yes. Marco Diaz. Marco Diaz. Marco's okay. He's a likable character, and he has a very interesting dynamic with Star that I greatly appreciate watching the show. And it continues to change and develop over time, and as we mentioned, Star's a pretty feminine character. And Marco, that's something I want to talk about for a second. And by talk about for a second, I mean that's going to be a focal point of my discussion in this video. So, am I saying that Marco is a feminine character? Obviously not. Maybe a little bit. Marco is very clearly a masculine character, at least in my eyes, but he has some traits that kind of contradict that in the eyes of many, and that's mostly because masculinity is a bullshit construct that we allow to control our lives and the way we form relationships a little too much. Marco is plain masculine enough, even when you put him in a dress. I mean, Marco, he's a teenage boy. He's thinner. He's not that tall. He's at a point in his adolescence where his voice still cracks and he can't really grow a whole lot of facial hair. I personally can't identify with that problem, but I'm sure plenty of people can. And he's an anxious ball of crippling insecurities, which we'll go into that later. And also, he has no problem expressing emotions, which is considered a feminine thing for some reason. Like, apparently you can't be a man unless you're completely disconnected from your emotions. And you could also point to the fact that his favorite band is a boy band, but for everyone in that universe, that seems to be their favorite band, so it's like, that's a control group at that point. Inevitably, as a result, people take all this not so masculine stuff and they run with it, and they make theories about, like, you know, Marco is not masculine, Marco is trans, which, you know what, the whole trans theory thing, like, I'm totally cool with it. You know, I mean, there's not a lot of trans representation, especially in cartoons. Like, if you want to identify with a character, that's fine, but I think it's a little weird how the only characters that ever get that treatment are characters that don't really fit the mold of what masculinity should be. Like, it can't always just be, oh, this character doesn't live up to my expectations of masculine or feminine, therefore they're trans. Like, why are there no characters that aren't like that people theorize are trans? Like, why is there no Rick Sanchez's trans theory? Probably because of the fan base, honestly, but why can't Bolin from Legend of Korra be trans? Why can't Mr. Incredible be trans? Why can't Buzz Lightyear be trans? Why can't Superman be trans? Or, like, what about the feminine women? You know, why can't Marceline be trans? Or Connie be trans? Or Star is trans? You know, like, we don't know. Like, that's the thing about gender identity, is it's not just always the same type of people that are trans. Like, it can be anyone. I got way off topic, but my point is, people don't generally see Marco Diaz as a masculine character, when in reality, he's actually pretty masculine. You can tell he self-identifies with that. You know, he's a green belt in karate, eventually becomes a red belt, spoilers, and you know, that's a prominent part of his character. That's something he takes pride in. That's something he's, like, proud of. Like, yeah, I'm a karate master, like, I can beat people up. Like, you know, that's a pretty masculine thing to take pride in. Like, even if you're a woman, like, that would be considered a more masculine trait. In fact, like, if you assigned RPG classes to Star and Marco when they were, like, in combat, you would make Star like a DPS and you would make Marco a tank for sure, because he's just running in there like, I'm gonna beat people up. And he also uses karate as kind of like a what's the word, compensation for his insecurities. And you can tell a lot of his insecurities come from the fact that he doesn't see himself as masculine enough. A prime example of this is when Marco's checklist made an appearance. in the episode Sleeping Spells. He had a checklist of every time that Star has saved him as opposed to every time that he has saved Star, and what a surprise, the princess with magical powers saved him a lot more than he saved her. Like, honestly, the fact that you even have a check on that list, I feel like that's, like, for me, if I have a friend who could literally, like, summon beams of light into physical existence, if I had saved them even once compared to the amount of times that they had saved me, with all that stuff going on, I would be like, you know what, at least I got that one. Like, I wouldn't be insecure about that. But, like, the fact that this list exists, it shows an outdated mindset that men are supposed to be heroic and strong while women are delicate and helpless. And I know that's a very sexist mindset to have, and I'm not saying that Marco is sexist for having that mindset. Sometimes it's just social programming. Like, Marco's like 14. Like, he has not had time to unlearn these concepts that society continues to teach through stories and movies and whatever. But this is why Marco has such a high awareness of the fact that, oh, Star has saved me a lot more than I've saved her. And luckily for Marco, he has a friend like Star who's willing to sit him down and say,
Marco, you are awesome. We don't need to get caught up in who saves who. All that matters is that we have each other's back.
But Marco's masculine traits have also created some conflict between him and Star in their relationship at times. For example, when he felt the need to intervene in the Blood Moon Ball because he knew Tom was an asshole. Not me, Tom, the other dude, Tom. But Tom, right off the bat, they show you, like, he has anger problems. He's prone to violence. Like, that's not the type of person that you want your friends going to a dance with, you know? And, like, honestly, I can relate to this situation. I've had friends who are seeing guys where it's like, dude, really? Like, not only does he not deserve your greatness, but this could also potentially be a dangerous situation for you. And, like, part of the thing is like, as guys, we kind of sometimes let toxic aspects of our masculinity that society teaches us take over. And we're like, oh, no, we can't let you do this, because, like, this guy's... You know, it's like we become overprotective. And, like, I'll admit to doing this at times, but, like, it's not right. And I'm willing to admit that it's not right to do. You gotta be able to trust your friends to handle themselves in these situations.
I hate to say it, but I warned you about Tom.
No, you! You're infuriating!
Me? I was just trying to help.
You don't trust me to do things by myself. I don't need a hero. I need a friend.
And that's all Star wanted Marco to do. Like, she can clearly handle herself. If anything, Marco made the situation worse. And then Star fixed it for him. Star still handled it. That's one of the things that makes the dynamic between Star and Marco so interesting, is because they complement each other. Not only in the straightforward ways of, like, Marco is a level-headed, thoughtful person, while Star is impulsive and eccentric. But the masculine and feminine play a big role in this as well. The fact that both of them, in their own ways, go against traditional gender roles creates a very pleasant give and take in their relationship. We've already discussed how Marco has his stereotypically feminine tendencies, but Star comes from a matriarchal monarchy where women wear the pants. Yeah, she's a girly girl by nature, but she's also a very strong and independent person. Just look at Queen Moon. She's a total badass when she wants to be, and the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. And you can look at her dad too. He's an extremely masculine character. And of course the show doesn't have a problem showing some of the drawbacks of that, but that manliness clearly rubbed off on Star. At a glance, you might think, oh, this is a girl's show, but what it really is at the end of the day is just a good show with a diverse array of characters, and the main character just so happens to be a girl. At the end of the day, when you look at manliness and masculinity and femininity, like, they're all just concepts that exist in our heads, and they don't really matter in the real world. And when we die, we're not going to have any gender, and we're just going to be spiraling off into the abyss. So why does any of that matter? You know, wear a dress, kiss a homie, it's all good. When you're tucking your homie in at night, just smooch him on the lips, let him know you care. I know you thought it was kinda hot when Toffee got all goopy. You like your goop, baby son? You sick fuck? Live life. Be like Danny DeVito. You think Danny DeVito's afraid to kiss a homie goodnight? Why should you be? It's not gay. Just put your lips on another man's lips. Girls do it all the time. I don't gotta tell this to the ladies. Ladies are out here kissing their homies all the time. Just gals being pals. Like Jana. Be like Jana. You know, she's just being a pal. Even if it's on the down low. You're doing great, sweetie. Keep it up. Thank you for watching Let's Talk with Tom on the Roundtable, but Tom isn't just on the Roundtable. I have my own self-titled personal channel. I have a Twitter, I have an Instagram, I have a Snapchat, I have all that good stuff. In fact, I even have a Tumblr. So, if you're interested in any of that, check that out. And I'll see you next time. Goodbye!